There we go. Live. Good evening, Melrosians, the world over. I'm Tom Catalini.
I'm Jen LeClaire.
I'm Sam Hammer.
And I'm Tom Shampoo.
And this is Let's Talk Melrose, a show where Melrosians talk to Melrosians about Melrose. And that's what we're talking about tonight. Right, Sam?
I'm trying to pay attention.
I knew it. I knew you weren't paying attention. That was unfair. But
Trapped.
Hey,
trapped like a what?
Trapped like a rat.
Like a rat.
Whoa, foreshadowing. Wow, we're getting sophisticated.
Out of the gate quickly on the good transition.
Okay. Can't wait.
We have to welcome back to the media scene our good friend Mike Karaji, who was very, very missed, and thank goodness you are back on the beat because Melrosians were hopefully not getting their news and information from us in the meantime. But I love. Did you all notice? So Sam and I saw him at Cafe Nero, and we presented him with a LTMM onesie for the new Karaji Kid, the Karaji Kid 2,
for branding purposes.
For branding purposes, yeah. And as a joke, he said he was going to do a thank you to the viewers, as he was coming back. And as a joke, as he was walking out, we said, "Oh, well, now you have a picture you can post too." And I was surprised that he actually did it, because in the meantime, we sent him the little like self-promotional baby onesie. And in the meantime, he had been telling us of the Melrosians who were like bringing food and like useful things. That was his emblem of like what the community gave him, was like our little.
We're gonna brand that baby.
As opposed to our self-serving onesie.
Right. So bless his heart. So welcome back, Karaji.
Yes.
Oh, hey, Minor.
Look who it is, Mike Minor. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, we play well in the cyberspace and the social media. You know what I mean? You can't take a picture of a fruitcake and post that. You know what I mean? You got to have a little panache. We want the kid to have a little pizzazz. We're just very happy that he's healthy and that the family is doing well. And Mike's back on the scene, which is great. He's already putting out some articles, which we mercilessly steal. To have some information on this show.
That's what holds. That's the crutch that holds the show up, for Pete's sake.
We regurgitate his news.
Yeah. Melrose. Exactly. Melrose relies heavily on anyone named Mike. So going back to our dear friend Mike Minor and our partner at MMTV, that makes all of this possible. Yeah. They also have news. They now have camera systems installed. We saw him at the DEMS meeting. They have cameras installed on the fields now, and they're able to cover, I think, pretty much all of the sports coverage in Melrose, and kind of partner that with the TV program that the school offers. So that's super cool. Again, MMTV is just
fantastic.
Like one of Melrose treasure.
Yeah.
So.
And that's indoor sports and outdoor sports now, correct? It's Fred Green Field. It's the middle school gym, I think, too.
Balls on the field, go bounce, bounce, bounce. Let's play with the balls together.
Jen, why don't you tell us about all the sports that are played?
Yeah,
around. How's Melrose doing anyway?
I do know. Oh, I'm sad to report, actually, that I think the first home game for the football team they lost, and everyone was shocked, because we're kind of not used to that around here.
Wow.
The football team has been quite a force for the past few years. So they lost their first home game, but that's okay, guys. There's still time, and that's So there you go. That's about all I know. But you can divert your attention. If you're sad about the football team, you can divert your attention to the amazing Melrose High School band, because that's always great at halftime to soothe your sadness.
So, Jen, I want to ask, since you have a daughter in high school. Is she attending sports events? Is she socializing that way? Because my kids like to go just to go hang out and
Yeah,
see people and all
not
that.
yet, not likely. I don't think that's probably her scene.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
But yeah, I want to go this Saturday. I'm hoping that the weather holds out. There's lots.
gonna
of
be
there's-
great.
There's lots of great stuff. Yeah. Okay. We'll start doing the rain dance, but the band. Oh gosh, I'm going to be just as bad about talking about this as I am talking about sports ball. But there's like a regional like band showcase.
It's competition. Yep.
Competition, yeah, and that's happening on Fred Greenfield as well.
And
So
Melrose is hosting.
Right.
and I'm pretty. It starts around. I think it's around 4. I'm going to find the correct information, but the Melrose High School band goes on around 6:45.
yeah, and they
so-
have guest bands. I think the BU Go Terriers. They have the BU band is like their guest band. They always bring in a college band or a bigger band. So it's super cool. I went. Gosh, probably wasn't last year. It was probably the year before when they did Grease. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun.
So there's a bunch of high school bands getting together on Fred Green Field this Saturday, and they're gonna.
Yep. It's a competition. It's
Yeah.
Yep, they do their shows, and somebody emerges as the most awesome. So
Right. So for all the people who go out there to support sports, let's go out there and support our band as well. They're
Yes,
really
there's
incredible.
gonna be a lot.
They work really hard.
It's going to be a music-filled day on Saturday.
Yeah.
Porch Fest is Saturday. All the performances are 2 to 6, so you still have time to go see the Melrose Band, Melrose High Band. But there's a lot of music all over town. We're going to talk about that throughout the show. Yes, Jen?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
course.
Do we know? Yeah, absolutely. Do we know how many? Are we talking about this now? Are we on to? I haven't heard the news. I
No,
haven't
we
heard
were
the
just
news
about to transition
signal.
to the news. So
Okay.
it's
'Cause I
really
just don't know.
inappropriate to start talking about the
Right,
news without
exactly.
officially
I-
transitioning to the segment. So
I checked myself. If you
if
noticed.
everybody is ready, we'll get there now. I keep forgetting about that. That's so
I
good.
love that we're surprised by that every time.
Jen, what is the news on Porch Fest?
I have no idea. Why are you asking me for
Because you were just bringing it up before we transition. So I know a little bit about it.
Yeah,
if you go
yeah.
to melroseporchfest.org,
I know it's Saturday.
and there's a melroseporchfest.org is the site. And if you do the /map link or click on the map thing, it'll show you all the points on like a Google map. And there's a rundown of all the bands that are playing at different locations. And they'll even tell you kind of what time and what a little bit about the band. So there's a ton of them. I didn't count them, but there's a lot. And the
Yeah.
weather, I think, is going to be fantastic on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay,
What?
I heard. Really?
says who?
Yeah.
Says me. What happened? It's
I don't
not?
think it's gonna rain.
Oh,
Okay, we have to.
What do you
we
mean?
would-
The little thing
defer-
that shows sun and clouds?
Okay. Well, we'll defer to Tom
50%
Schiff.
chance of rain. It
I don't know.
changed.
Yeah,
It changed
no.
since this
Well,
morning.
Alexa's
That's
telling
not-
me that
that's
there's
not-
rain.
51% is a whole different story, as you know.
That's
know,
right.
Tom
We
Cavalier.
still have a chance. So I guess good to know there is a rain date on Sunday, which
Yeah.
right now my weather specialist is telling me it's 73 and partly sunny on Sunday. Is the pretty. So this shifted. I think it was this morning, Thursday and Friday rainy, Saturday and Sunday clear. I was like, oh, good. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
And, now-
I think Saturday rain will be later. I hope we can
Okay.
squeeze it in Porch Fest. I think it'll be more toward the evening, nighttime.
Well,
Let's see.
then that ruins it for the Melrose High Band.
Well, we all
We'll
know
see.
this is New England, so we won't know the real answer to this
Right.
question until Saturday,
Saturday,
like as you
Until
walk
it's
out
happening.
when you walk out the front door. So,
So we'll
just
We'll keep an eye on that. Porch Fest definitely has a rain date of Sunday, which looks good. So one way or another, it's going to happen this weekend. I don't know about the Battle of the Bands, but
it's so fun, Porch Fest. I do know that, and they've also kind of branched out. I mean, they so for example, you can go see Sam Rossi comedy also. Like
Nice.
there's just so
nice.
so much talent. There's so much talent in this community, and it's fun. It's a free event. You just get to wander around and hang out with your neighbors and listen to great music and comedy and other stuff like that.
Right. So some people on the show also are going to be, and our fans within the show within the show will be at 100 Cottage. So head down there. Just going to say it because we
that's
can.
going to be an exciting
That's really-
stage to
Yeah.
Yes.
keep
But
an eye
also
on.
It will be
down
an
Allen
exciting stage.
down Allen Place is going to be
Yeah.
really great too.
Yep.
The thing is, it's all over. I just wish I could be everywhere. that day.
Everywhere, I know.
It's fun.
I
It's
know.
fun.
I kind of stayed. Last year, though, the last time they had it, I kind of sort of stayed in a certain radius, but was plenty to listen to, plenty to see. It was great. So,
All right.
Two
What
years
else?
ago, we brought my then 86-year-old mother-in-law to Porch Fest, and she spent a couple of hours with us getting around town and looking at some of the bands, and she's coming again on Saturday. So she's excited about it as well. This is
It's
for
fun.
everybody to go.
Yeah.
check
It's
out.
for
So
all
it should be a
ages.
fun
It's going to
day.
be it's going to be a blast.
Yep.
All right,
Also-
Sam, are you going to cover this first story, or
Yes, I just wanted to also mention that BLP is doing You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown this weekend as well. So there's
Great.
that. So that might be our Friday night. Porch Fest it will be our Saturday night, maybe with the marching band. We're going to delay a birthday party for another week. Maybe they'll forget. Maybe we'll just make it a big one for the next year.
For 11.
Everybody.
But
Two
yes,
Oh, let's go to 11.
Go to 11, yes. So no, I'll really quickly. I'll just put for anybody who still cares about COVID. I'm going to put the dashboard back up. I think it's riveting, and I bookmark it.
Yeah.
People
for the-
care.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should care.
There's 17 cases now,
Yep,
right?
we just had 4 cases today. We're day 0 again. But so I went into the school on Monday, walked in, and there was like I just found this fascinating. There was like a gaggle of parents there, and I asked them what was happening. If they had all gotten in trouble, and they were like, "We're the COVID crew," because basically all of their students, there were 5 or 6 of them. Their students had been in close contact with somebody who tested positive. So I had no idea what the policy was. I said, "Well, what is this? What do you do?" So every morning for 5 days, they go in before school. Their students get tested. If they are negative, they go to class. And if they're not, they go home.
Oh, that's the test and stay, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
but I had no idea like how this actually happened in real life. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That is
So-
cool because I did read about it in the superintendent's memo. There was a test and stay thing that that was part of the hubbub when they first started this year, that they weren't quite ready for that. So now they are. That's good.
Yeah, cool.
So that's how that works. Who knew?
Yeah,
You do.
now we do. Yeah, you
Now
heard
we
it
do.
here.
And then
The Melrose band plays Rain or Shine because they are that badass.
well, they're mostly brass, so they can
Can't-
handle it.
Can't rain on that parade. No pun
Hey.
intended.
Do we want to move over to wet rats? Did we talk about rats?
I think we need to move over to rats.
Oh my goodness.
Is that because you saw the comment from Dugan? Is that what got you on that?
Which one? Oh,
All right. That's not working. Anyway. All right. Tell us about the rats. So
Oh,
listen,
rats.
here's what happens. The other day, I get up. I don't remember exactly, but I'm probably doing like a very intense morning workout, something like that.
Sure.
And I get a text from my brother. He goes, "Rats in Melrose." I'm like, "What?" Now, he lives down the Cape. He lives in Sandwich. And I said, "What do you mean? Did we something on the news?" And he said, "Yeah." And I searched it on WBZ News the other day. There was a whole segment, well, not a segment, 90 seconds or whatever. Rats in Melrose, blah, blah, blah. So what, I know you were monitoring the situation closely, Sam. What did you find out about that? There was some city,
I think she found out the
Yes,
same
I
thing
was.
Jen found out about that.
Yeah.
so with 5 minutes before the show started, I watched
Right.
the 3-hour city council meeting. From
Yeah.
Well, what does Karaji say about the rats? Let me
Yeah,
I
know
read
what's
the
going on.
Karaji report.
well, right.
Right.
So here's the thing. I don't think he's put out an article yet, right? So
Oh, so this is breaking.
with this
Breaking.
breaking news, and I think, yeah, you're on top, but it's much harder to do this when he hasn't written the article. We can just read from that.
So here's what we do know. I mean, we do know that 2 of our city councilors several years ago, there's always a time warp. I'm losing track of time. Was it 2019? I don't know. Had tried to pass something that was like a trash control, keep lids on your trash and that sort of stuff. It didn't pass. And there's some quote in there, something about like, wealthy homeowners should not be required to put lids on their trash cans or something like this.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah, that's there somewhere. But it has come around again. Sean McMaster and was it Jen G?
Yep.
put it forward again. Previously, it had been Zwerko and McMaster, so it was put forward again and passed this time. I mean, I think the city. I think there was a kind of some more discussion. There was photographs. I think when people were seeing it on Facebook and on the community pages, and I guess it got enough more attention this time that people wanted to try to do something about it.
So what happens? I have to put my trash in a can and cover it, or I can get fined.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is stuff out there. Maybe. That's true.
True.
But this is where the technology was perfected many years ago. This is exactly the kind of trash can I have. The old school metal trash can. You put the lid on it because we had trouble with squirrels and raccoons, and they chew right through your thin little plastic protection.
If I could tattletale
Do they really?
For a moment.
See, this is what happens when you all live near each other.
I did hear somebody who lives in your house say that when the trash barrels go out, they prefer not to lid them because the lids get tossed, and you do have
and wake you up. Yeah.
Well, and they get run over.
Well, the guys are busy. So in the past, it hasn't been, the sort of full attention to gently placing the lids, off to the side when they're trying to heave all this waste into the back of the truck. So yes, that has been the protocol, but we have the lids.
You do have the lids, and
we've
got the symbols at times.
Yes.
So I live near the Fells, and it's always been like the unspoken neighborhood cultural rule that you keep your trash and stuff kind of under wraps, because if you and preferably put it out in the morning, don't leave it out overnight, because you could, there are times, especially over the summer, you come out the next day on trash day and it's a disaster because the critters have had a party overnight. So it just seems like sort of common sense mitigation strategies. I also don't know that it's really going to be enough. I mean, if there's really a problem, I don't know what the problem is. I've never seen it. I feel for people who are seeing this and reporting it, and I've never seen anything. We've never had a problem, thank God. But
yeah, same here.
So it's hard for me.
Matter of fact, we used to have pet rats in the house. You can get them little miniature ones as pets, and they're cute as heck and smart as a whip.
Maybe that's the solution. We need to have a adopt a rat program in Melrose.
Jen, why don't you post that idea on the community page,
sure.
and we'll just we'll workshop it a little bit.
We'll monitor that and see how that goes down.
All right, let's move it along. We're running out of time.
This is
somehow we're going to run over, but we've got a great guest tonight. We have to get to Sam. What's on the news? Let's just bring her on and go.
I'm a big fan of the show.
Your name's come up quite a few times in the past. I don't know if you've heard. We talk about you every once in a while.
Oh, I think I have heard it a couple of times, and I get very excited. I feel famous.
Thank you for being on the show. What is your favorite mode? Do you watch on Twitter? Do you watch on YouTube? Do you watch on MMTV? Do you watch on Facebook? Do you download the podcast the next day?
Because it pops right up. I watch it there.
We are so self-serving and ridiculous, you guys. Please welcome. This is Manjula Karamchedi. I'm probably mispronouncing your name, but I think at this point that's the least of our worries. She is running for Ward 1 City Councilor seat, unopposed like everyone else. Is a long time serving member of the community in other ways, particularly with diversity, equity, access, and inclusion. So thank you for being here. Welcome to the show. Let's talk about some of the great work that you do here in Melrose.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
See, that's the difference between a Jen show and a non-Jen show. See how it's all orderly and professional, happening.
Courteous,
courteous.
She cares about people. All that shines through, right?
Let's just ask Manjula directly. What's your favorite part of the show?
I have so many favorite parts. I don't know who made up the opening, but I find it very catchy. And I do like seeing all the past guests and you sort of dancing through that. I do kind of think it's awesome for like catching up on the news. If I haven't been able to watch city council, if I haven't been like super certain of all the things going on, I'm guaranteed to learn things from listening to you. But I think my favorite part is just your interactions with each other.
Well, if you lived closer, you could have it every day.
You could have it. Yeah, you're
Never
very far away.
ending.
For anyone who doesn't know, where is Ward 1? Where are you?
So Ward 1 is sort of the area by Franklin Street, in between Stoneham, going to Main Street, and then the like back way towards Wakefield.
Okay, so up there in the hills.
Up the hill, yeah.
Yeah.
Up in the Highlands area.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Some of you know it as the Highlands.
Yeah.
So I have had the pleasure of having spent time with you when you're facilitating amazing community conversations. I think we had one at the temple that was packed, and you were an outstanding facilitator and obviously very well versed on the topic, and it just made everyone feel very comfortable and open. So you've done a lot of work around inclusion, specifically in Melrose, and what this community was like. But I think you also do this for your day job as well, and you do a lot of work in education. Can you talk a little bit about how that kind of?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, to go way back, I'm a licensed school counselor, middle school and high school. So that's kind of how I started my professional journey. My first counseling gig was at Framingham High School, and I was a counselor there with a caseload of about 400 students. And I also ran the College and Career Center. And, that was in 2002 when I started. And so a lot of that work was about like college access and making sure that all students had what they needed to like move forward with their goals. And I kind of became a school counselor. My parents are immigrants. They came to this country from India, and the Indian educational system is very different than that of the United States. And I think my parents expected that school would take care of everything. But there's a lot of information that caregivers need in order to support their kids and like helping them go into higher education. So long story short, we didn't have a lot of that information when I was growing up. So kind of just did what my friends were doing and kind of figured it out. So I just really was interested in how to support students who don't have a lot of resources outside of the school system. So that was kind of the beginning.
Can I interrupt you right there and ask,
Yeah,
like, what were the key things that those students needed to be successful? What were sort of the common themes or turning points?
Yeah, so a lot of it was information, and having a way to get that information in digestible, less complex ways. And then providing opportunities for parents and caregivers to also get that information. So a lot of what I was interested in with that work was, how do we embed this in the school day? How does it become a part of the experience? So we were designing a lot of at the time we called them guidance lessons, but we'd partner with teachers and go into classrooms to make sure that students had that information. I would host FAFSA completion workshops on the weekend. We'd open up the school, have families get coached. We'd create partnerships with colleges and universities, just so parents had support with how to do that stuff. So it was really always about removing boundaries, removing barriers. So everybody was sort of more on a level playing field, and it didn't matter like who or how much money you had, or if you had a child go through this process, or if you went to college in the United States. Like those things wouldn't prevent you as a student from pursuing higher ed or a career, whatever your interest was.
Right. I love that it's embedded, and it's not like, because it's almost like could become a thing where people hire a consultant to apply to school for your kids, or, it's just like it should be part of the program.
Yeah, that just the access to the information and the that sort of path forward. If there are two things that we talk about all the time on this show, it's communications and beer gardens.
Yeah.
pretty much every week.
We're trying to get
And
that on her.
that's a Venn diagram that overlaps heavily in my world.
Right. Right.
So, and that was just sort of framing him, but anyway, I was the director of guidance, testing, and academic support for the Malden Public Schools. And through that, again, did a lot of dropout prevention and mental health awareness work, making sure that kids had access, that caregivers were supported. I would go to like the local churches and do my college presentations, just like really trying to think of like just ways to connect people and connect others to each other. And, you know, that sort of led to really like the diversity, equity, and inclusion work that came later. So,
So how do you feel that experience in the past transitions to a place now that you live in Melrose, or that you're living in Melrose? What's the transition to a city like Melrose? What are the differences? What are the similarities that you're seeing?
well, so I guess the other thing that I would say is I was also the director of counseling in Lexington for a while. So I have these like many different types of communities that I've worked in, but a lot of the issues are the same. In terms of just like you're talking about communication, outreach, trusting relationships, making sure people are connected, and just how do you move forward with that? And a lot of that comes from listening and learning and kind of reflecting on your own experience and your own biases and how do you move beyond those. So it kind of all ties together.
And I think all of that work, you've had quite an impact on our community, in Melrose specifically, being an advocate on the outside doing that work, which I'm extremely grateful for. And every once in a while we banter here about, or even in the streets, about, you know, the influence and the impact that you have as an advocate trying to push change inside of the system, inside the bureaucracy. But now you are hopefully going to just get that seat at the table and be a part of that system and that bureaucracy. So what sorts of things, when you were thinking or deciding to run, do you want to kind of explore or push forward from the inside?
Yeah, that's such a great question. And I've even had to do like a lot of, I had to do like a lot of soul searching, right? Because I am more of a grassroots organizer and an advocate. And you know, the leadership positions that I've had have been in schools, and generally I've been the only person of color at the table in those school districts that I've worked in, and have really been able to make changes through building coalitions. So that's sort of what I know how to do. But I figured in my work, a lot of the coalition building was around bringing schools, city government, and communities together. So why not try to do it from the city side as opposed to trying to do it from the community and the school side?
Right. And when we were, before the show started, we were all talking about last night's city council meeting, and that
I was going to say, why not? Because it's goddamn tedious. That's why not.
Right. Have you on the other, and you know, to have you on the other side, like you could have gotten involved in the school site council or run for school committee, because to have someone with your experience on, you know, really on the inside and working in partnership with school committee and all those others is, I think, going to be really helpful and interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and to be like totally honest with you, I don't know that I would have considered city council, but I had a group of people encouraging me to try and to consider it. So when a strong group of people that you admire actually say to you, you know, why don't you consider this? That was very meaningful.
It could be a
for
setup.
me.
I mean, who are these people and what do they want?
But I don't know. I'm a big believer in like lifting others up. And in this case, I feel like I was lifted up.
Awesome.
That's great.
That's amazing. Cool. Well, hopefully the 3-hour meetings with trash and rats and sewers won't put you down, because I think there's so much time, rightfully so, spent on the business of city mechanics.
Yeah.
That it's wonderful to have city councilors who are, again, those advocates who have been doing the work on the outside, who sit at the table and can really kind of push things forward.
Mhm.
I'm a big Jamaluddin fan, and even last night we were talking about the early voting and how we're going to get the message out to folks, and she so eloquently always points out the things that I feel like her crystal blue eyes can see better than everyone else. And I even if it is something around trash and rats and sewers and voting and elections, having your perspective and your voice at the table is going to bring a paradigm that people that will add to that, I guess. So thank you for running.
Thank you for doing. I mean, I do think it's a tough gig. Right. You're working your day job. You come home mowing the lawn. You're probably doing an early morning intense workout like I am, something like that. And then you've got to go
boot camp all the way.
And then
See,
you gotta
yes, she
go.
actually is.
Funny. I wonder why I haven't seen you.
You
there.
haven't gotten that. So weird.
Oh, because I haven't gone. That's
You were absent that day.
Fred
So weird.
Greenfield.
You know, I've never seen you at Melrose boot
camp.
But then to try and contribute to the community and take all that you are and all that you're able to do is really quite generous, because it's like a volunteer gig and it really is tedious to participate. It's tedious to watch. It's difficult. And, that's what I wonder if at some point when I saw that, there's not really more people running than there are seats, like, should we reconsider? Should this be a smaller body in the future? Should they be paid positions to maybe include more people in it or something? I don't know, but thank you for doing it, because I think it's not that easy, and it's like a 2-year commitment, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
it sure is.
Yeah.
Is there anything kind of new or any agenda that you may have coming into this that you want to share?
Well, I wouldn't say that I have an agenda, but there are certainly things that I care about. And things that the residents of Ward 1 really care about. And so I guess I would say, even though I'm uncontested between now and the election, I'm really excited to hit the streets, so to speak, in Ward 1 in particular, and just get to know the residents, really listen and learn to what their concerns are, what's on their minds. So things, for instance, like Franklin Street. Speeding on Franklin Street, making sure that it's safe for kids and families, the elderly, everyone to be able to cross that street, whether you're going down the hill from Stoneham or you're going up past the Franklin School and then going past La Cuchera. Like, people are speeding, people aren't paying attention, they're driving distractedly. So, that's definitely something that's on the minds of the residents of Ward 1, definitely on my mind. That's sort of
that's a citywide issue.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I go to all the wards. I have business. I have business in all the wards of the Commonwealth.
Well, like you say, business in all the wards. That Franklin Street is also like another. We focus a lot on downtown, but Franklin Street has its own kind of business district up there, creative and business district up there too.
We would go for Cub Scout meetings, dances, whatever, across from the church. And you park in the lot, and it's like, I got to get 15 feet, and I don't know if we're gonna make it, the whole family, across the street. It really is.
Yeah.
But also,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Manjula.
Oh, I was just going to say something that is exciting, like DPW has been putting in crosswalks on the corner of Franklin and Batolph Street today. We got a blinking light, so we're super excited about that.
What does that mean? Do you have to slow down on Franklin or on Batolph?
So
what does that
if
mean?
you're either going down Franklin or up Franklin towards Stoneham, there is now like one of those push button lights.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Across the street.
Yeah.
Because we got a crosswalk in, I guess it was last year. However, cars don't really like to stop, even if you're waiting there. So now we have an extra layer of protection.
So we have some of those on West Wyoming that were put in, and I think they're a nice upgrade. But I don't know what the future of humanity is when we have to just have more and more, bold alerts.
Yeah. Have you seen
for
those
basic things.
optical
No, that's a good
illusion
point.
crosswalks?
I
Have
don't
you
like
seen-
those. I don't like those. That's dangerous. That's more dangerous than anything, because you think that there's something to avoid or whatever, and then you realize it's not there, and then one day there really is going to be a ditch there or something, and you'll drive right into it.
Interesting. Okay, we might have to bring Niall in for this conversation.
Yeah.
But most importantly, most importantly, Manjula, where do the residents of Ward I hope that in your door knocking you're gonna ask the question and figure out where do the residents of Ward 1 want to put the beer garden?
That is a great question. Where will they want to put the beer garden?
Okay,
And then report back to us. Because we're
Yeah,
keeping
let us
track.
know.
Okay.
That's like one of those Casella poll questions that presumes, it's like a leading question, it presumes that there is going to be a beer garden before.
Yeah.
Did
Candy
you see?
corn.
Did you see? By the way, he is watching, and
Yeah.
he sent
Yes.
us a nice, lovely message.
Where do you fall on candy corn versus circus peanuts? That was the poll
Oh.
of the day.
That's the poll.
Yeah, all
miss
of
him.
those, please.
So much.
Candy
I
corn.
miss Steve so much.
Candy
right now.
corn.
Yeah, candy corn. Yeah.
Well, weirdly enough, you have to distinguish between traditional candy corn and the pumpkin ones. It's a totally different
Oh.
experience.
No, traditional.
No,
Yeah,
not the
yeah, you're
pumpkin
right. You're right.
Yeah, but
Oh,
they're-
Mike Miner says he has thoughts.
Yeah.
What are those? What are those thoughts?
I don't know. Type them in, Mike. Call,
All right, we
call
should
the
have-
number 781. We used to have a phone
We
line.
used to have a phone that we didn't know how to answer. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Call MFTV. I'm not sure if anyone will answer, but let
But
us
is there
know.
anything we didn't ask that, because I this is super exciting that we have you on. Is there anything that we didn't ask that you want others to know?
Well, what would your vote have been last night? If you were a city councilor, what would your vote have been on the trash can lid situation?
That was,
Good.
Yeah.
that was
Well, I'm definitely for things that reduce the rat problem. People are really struggling. So, it's more raccoons and rabbits and foxes.
oh my God, we have a coyote issue over here. We have a
Yeah.
big coyote
Fox.
problem.
Yeah.
Fox here, yeah.
Foxes,
But I would
coyotes.
definitely be voting for measures that reduce that issue for the residents.
Nice.
So you're opposed to rats.
I'm opposed to rats.
Okay, that's the headline.
Especially, I did
Well,
Who's in
I-
favor of rats?
of the rat in that person's grill.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
That's
Oof.
very
Oof.
Yeah,
upsetting.
that was
yeah.
really
Somebody
weird.
was eating through cars. It was not good. It's not
Yeah,
good.
not cool.
Well, thank
I
you
mean,
for doing this.
The only thing I would say, if you're interested in learning more about the Manjula for Melrose campaign, manjulaformelrose.com. You Google that, the Facebook will come up, the Instagram, the website. I think the only thing I would say is I love Melrose, and I hope to have the opportunity to serve. I want to be a responsive listener and a proactive advocate for the residents of Melrose, but also for the community. So
That's
Awesome.
fantastic.
Well,
Thank you
if you
so
won
much.
Thank you.
over,
Thanks
if you
so
won
much.
over the Toms, you're definitely in.
Yeah.
So.
I think
All
your
right.
chances look good, and and we're lucky
My
to have
husband-
you.
oh, I'm not even gonna. My husband pointed out, not if there's a strong write-in campaign.
Oh,
So
okay. Well,
Wow,
Manjula
that
for
would be
Melrose.
that would be a stretch, I
That would
think.
be a
yeah, I
strong
think so
campaign.
too. We are lucky to have you both here on the show and in Melrose.
And
Thank
in
you so
Melrose.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
One final request before you can go off and do the campaign. We have dance off at the end of the show now.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
stick around, dance off the show with us.
The voters
thank you
are
again for
watching
being
your
here.
moves.
Yeah.
The voters are watching
Yeah.
your moves. So.
That's
Can't-
trouble.
Your campaign rests on this moment.
I hope
All
not.
right. Ward 1 and all the wards will see you around town.